Hey guys, it's Jake here with another video for you all. I hope everyone out there is doing well today. So in this video, I want to start a new series on the channel where I am going to spotlight some of the most undervalued, underappreciated, and underknown cards in the Pokemon hobby. My goal in each of these videos is going to be to introduce the card, talk about the history of the card, the release of the card. Then we're going to go into things like the pop report, any specifics that I happen to know over the years in trying to find the card, how difficult it's been to source it, how difficult it's been to grade it in my experience, those sorts of details. And we're going to talk about the prices and sort of what it has been selling for and doing, how it's been doing financially value-wise over the past year or so, and try to make sense of all of that. So the card that we are going to be looking at together today and talking about today is this beautiful, historic, wonderful card right here. So for those who don't know this card, it is the lenticular Deoxys card, is how it's best known. And this card was released in honor of the Deoxys movie that was released in 2004 in Japan, and was released initially in the Pokemon centers to celebrate the movie, and then later had a broader and wider release. Not exactly sure how broader or how wide that release was. Like most things in Pokemon, we don't know exact distribution and numbers. But I can tell you that over the years, I have, certainly not seen many hundreds of these cards. And when I buy collections and when I go through Japanese collections, I rarely find these. It's not a card that is everywhere, for sure. And the amount that are listed on eBay and the amount of cards that are graded and the amount of cards that are sold of this specific card, I think is further proof of that fact, because although this card has an interesting price history, which we will get into, but the price has long been high enough on this card to likely bring out most of the gem mint and mint copies that are unsealed, that have already been taken out of the plastic, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But so before going into the pop reports and talking more about the prices, I want to show you guys what is so special about this card for those who don't know. This is the only lenticular Pokemon card that I know of in the hobby. Now there are some other non-card products that have this effect, but this is the only card that I know of that has this effect, and this is what it does. It's actually 3 Pokemon arts in one card, and if you tilt the card, amazingly, you will start to see that the art changes. Ooh, myself in the background there. Let's not get me. Let's get the beauty of the card. Sorry about the glare. But as you can see, 3 different amazing arts. The different forms of Deoxys from the movie. So just that right there, I think, speaks for itself in terms of the what I talk about on this channel, in terms of what is going to make a card stand out, or what is going to make a card super collectible and very historic. Something that is a special, unique release, but also a special, unique art that really stands out. And I think that this card has both a really cool release and probably pretty small release through the Pokemon Center, and has great age. It's from 2004, and has really, really cool, unique art. So the way this was released, the way it looked, and you can go online and on eBay, and there I think there are a few of them. And usually are a couple of them on eBay of people selling this card still sealed. The way that it was sold, it came in there's the much rarer box of these that had a number of these cards sealed that is very difficult to find. I've only seen a few of them. I think there may be one on eBay right now, but I've only seen 3 of those, I think, over my 3 to 4 years in the hobby. Whereas just getting one of these, they put them in like a plastic case with a half deck of other really cool cards that I can talk about in a different video. And that's how they were sold and released. So you can definitely look that up on. I don't have the sealed product, or I'd show you, but you can definitely look those up on eBay or Bulbapedia, any of those great resources to see that. Yeah. So generally speaking, these are quite difficult to grade. I actually graded this card myself. Thought it was very nice. Didn't see any obvious damage. One thing that's very interesting about this card, if my camera will focus on it enough for us to see it, is how it's a very thick card, and it's made of sort of different material than usual in order to have that effect. So that can make some kind of interesting, unusual damage that can be hard to see, that people who are used to looking at Pokemon cards may miss. I, however, did not see any damage on this card. I was hoping for a 10, but I know how difficult it is to get this in a 10. If we go over to the pop reports, in PSA 10, there are only 13 of these that have been ever graded since its release in 2004. There are 26 PSA 9s and 29 PSA 8s. And unlike certain cards, as I was saying before, that they were never really graded because there wasn't a lot of value, there were recorded sales of this card going for, I think the highest one that I ever saw was like $2,500 in PSA 10, and that was in 2019. And $2,500 for a card in 2019 was a huge amount of money. So that would have cost the same as like a Crystal Charizard in PSA 10, to give you some reference point. Then, interestingly, the next sales were lower for the card, and I saw this card sell for around $1,500, and the lowest one I saw sell was actually around $550, and that was a sale that happened just over a year ago, interestingly, for this card. So definitely the prices have been a little bit all over the place. This is a card that there just aren't that many of, particularly in gem mint condition. And as I said, even when you open this from the pack or from the plastic, it's very unlikely to be in very good condition and gem mint condition from people that I've talked to about it. So very difficult to get this in 10. So there just haven't been a lot of sales, and so they're really, nothing really in Pokemon, given all the price movements, is particularly established, or price points are particularly established. A card like this in particular, it's very unclear, what the next 10 will sell for when it comes up, what the next 9 will sell for, because there's just not a lot of price history. And particularly there's not a lot of price history since the boom of Pokemon that happened over the past year. So, right now on eBay, there are a few sealed versions of it. Likely wouldn't be 10s, and there are, a handful of this card raw, mostly in pretty poor condition. Not a card that you see a lot. So, part of why I think this card is so underrated, and to kind of, I guess, summarize all the reasons. When we talk about like hype, and when we talk about feeling like a lot of people know about a card, or a lot of people are talking about it and talking about how great of an investment and how exciting it is, I have never once heard a single person from the hobby, no matter how expert they are, how long they've been in the hobby, talk about this card, talk glowingly about this card. And to me, that is very odd. And because to me, when I see this card, I think absolute stunner, absolute standout, has the rarity, the history, the difficulty to grading, when we compare it to like modern promos that are from the Pokemon Center, if we think that they have a similar release to this, you see that cards that have just come out that are far easier to grade, that already have a lot more in the PSA 10 pop than this card does from 2004, going for more money than this card is going for right now. It really says something about, I think, the state of the hobby and about what people are looking for and trying to collect right now. Of course, if you don't like the art, that is a subjective piece, but the uniqueness, I think, also sets this card apart from everything else. So let me see if I have anything else to say on this. I think that's about everything for this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I'm curious to hear what you think about this card. If you guys have suggestions for cards you'd like me to go over, to cover, please put them in the comment section. Let me know if you guys like this series. My goal, I went back and forth on whether or not to make these videos because I don't want to cause artificial hype around a card like this. But I also think that cards like this, they're the main reason why a card like this isn't going already for $5,000 to $10,000 easy, in my opinion, in PSA 10 when we compare it to other cards in the hobby. Now, I'm not saying I would necessarily pay that money or that I think, I think a lot of things are overinflated and inflated in the hobby. But when we compare a card like this, that is the only card like this in the entire hobby, to a modern mass-produced card that there are going to be many thousands of graded, it seems like this card should be going for more than those cards, is the way I will put that. And we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if this video has an effect on that. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you all so much for watching today and tuning in, and I will see you all tomorrow for the live. All right, take care.